Hey guys, Josh from the Redneck Homestead channel here. We're on our way up to the cabin again. It's that time of year. Spring is in the air, but spring is not on the ground. Man, it's a lot harder of a hike than I remember it last summer. But if you remember a few videos ago, when I was commenting on how out of shape I've been, well, I've got some good news. I have been at the gym pretty regularly, walking and running and hiking on the treadmill, and back on the weights. I've lost a little bit of weight. I feel good about that. And I have to say, I mean, I feel a little bit better. I'm not as daunted by the hike in here. I'm not as winded. You have to take some breaks coming in, but I find myself kind of competing against myself. And so that's really positive news. And I'll tell you, after I kind of hurt my back a few years ago, I just disappeared from the gym for 5 years. And I used to go 5-6 days a week, and I was feeling good and in shape and strong and whatever. But it doesn't take long to get back in. If it weren't for my brother, Zach, my youngest brother, dragging me out, saying, "Come on, Josh, get to the gym. Come on, meet me. We'll work hard together, blah, blah, blah." I probably wouldn't have gone, so thank you, Zach. With that said, you know, if you're wondering how hard it'll be to get back into the gym, just do it. I mean, just act as though you were in shape and going all the time, and push through it, and you'll feel great. And like I said in one of my last videos, that we as Americans, as people who want to be prepared and we're preparedness minded, we think that being prepared is all about having stuff and having guns and lots of ammo and making sure we have all the tools and resources to be self-sufficient. But what good are you if you're running and someone's on your tail and you're out of wind and you're just like, well, I guess I can't go any further. What kind of good are you? So get in shape. And I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to myself. And I'm feeling good because I've been having this conversation with myself. So we're walking up to the cabin. Sorry for the long intro. The reason we're coming up is last time we came up, we noticed that as the ground is starting to soften up, the semblance of a foundation that we put the cabin on, which is really 4 boulders that I beat into the ground with the excavator last year, those boulders are starting to settle a little bit, and the cabin is not on firm footing right now. And I'm very concerned because there's a lot of surface water that is going to take over, and water's the most powerful force in the world. And we just can't afford to get up here and find the cabin toppled over, like last year when I found the shed toppled over. Go back into some of my early videos and see the shed, what I found when I came up here and the shed fell over. I'll tell you, this is a work in progress, you guys. I don't know everything. I don't even know the beginning of everything, and we're learning as we go. You can see I'm all yoked up with my GoPro. We're going to try to get some really good footage and go from there. So we'll take you along for the walk. A little further to go, about a 1/4 mile. All right, guys, I'm going to try to get this old beast started. Like I said before, at some point in the past, this thing's like 35 years old. I bought it with like middle 300 hours on it. It's like 340, 350, I don't remember exactly how many. That's like 10 hours a year. It's a little worse for the wear on the outside, but she has a good heart. And I feel like we can get this thing started. It's just a little 3-cylinder, and it has a strong battery. And look at that, all the lights came on. Let's hit the glow plugs for a minute or two, or a few seconds. It's not going to take much to warm this thing up. I'll remember the clutch this time. I fiddled with this thing last season for, I don't know, 15 minutes and it wouldn't start. I'm like, what's wrong with this thing? Well, dummy didn't depress the clutch. Clutch engaged. Started. Where are you going with that big mean chainsaw?
We'll see if I can cut me down a tree so we can have some wood.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it through the night with those little scabs that you brought up on the sled. Tim, Timber! Rob, did we tune that saw up last year?
Not at all.
It never even ran as far as I remember.
I think it got scared, but now the Husky got replaced by a steel.
Let's go get the sled so we can bring those log chunks back over here and chop them up into some usable firewood. Well, I don't know what time it is, but it's definitely past 7:30 because the sun's down. It's still relatively mild out. We've got the cabin screaming. It's like probably in the mid 70s in the cabin, which is quite nice. But one of the annoying things about living out here in the woods, not that we're living out here, but something as simple as rags and things to do dishes with, left them down in my tool shed down below, and the ever so necessary toilet paper. What are we gonna do without that? So I'd rather take this little hike now than at 3 a.m. when it matters the most, if you know what I mean. On our way back up from the shed, getting our toiletry unmentionables, there's a beautiful moon rising over the cabin. Gorgeous. All right, guys, welcome to Grid Down Gourmet at the Redneck Kitchen. So this is our first overnight at the camp. Julie almost came up with the baby, but she was like, well, no, I need to be responsible, and so that relegated us to being irresponsible, and we're perfectly content with that. So what we have going on right now is the redneck goulash, and I'll show you what we're putting together here. It involves some onion, some 80% ground beef, some pre-sliced mushrooms, a green pepper, and a pound of American cheese, white. And Glock 27 with one in the pipe,
A couple Bowie knives.
whole bunch of knives, and well, our trusty friend over here, the wood stove, which is just screaming. We are cooking with gas. Actually, we're cooking with wood, and we've already made ourselves a nice French press of coffee. You know, here at the Redneck Homestead, that's what we do. We drink coffee, and when we get thirsty, we wash it down with more coffee.
And for the first time, we're in t-shirts.
T-shirts, and it's feeling good. This is a preview to what's about to happen this summer. You know, I am disappointed in my Columbia boots. They got soaked, soaking wet. There's my wool socks. It kept me cranking all day, which was good. Hanging on the heat shield, and my soaking wet Carhartts. I should have worn my oil slicks to keep me dry, but all right, guys, here it is. Simply enough, it's 2 pounds of ground beef, a package of sliced mushrooms, some chopped up onions, and one full chopped up onion, and one green pepper, and a bunch of Land O'Lakes American cheese. And oh, I forgot to mention that I'm on a super low carb diet, so this is all pretty carb friendly. And I've made stuff similar to this at home. I just like to bake it in the oven. But for some reason, it's so much nicer cooking it on a wood stove. I am exhausted. Like, this is really bad. Actually, it's really good. We hiked into the cabin, or into the, whatever you call it, 8.5 of a mile, almost 9/10 of a mile, and then another 1/4 mile up here through the snow. Then Rob and I went for, I would say, close to a mile walk around the property, and man, then we hiked down to the tool shed to grab some stuff, and I don't want to hear this recap, but I am like half asleep. This is like amazing. I was just telling Rob that if I wasn't married with kids and business and all that stuff, I could totally live here, like full time. And that's like, this is the flavor of what I'm looking for when I'm talking about simple. Yeah, maybe a little bigger would be nice. Be nice to have a place to do this and that, but this is fine. This little tiny cabin is like all I need. Hammock is really essential in finding. So, all right, well, I'm going to bed after we eat, and catch up with you in the morning. Thanks.